Okay, this one is from Kaizen. Kaizen, I'm saying right. Kaizen. Sorry, saying Kaizen. My bad. It says the only manga recommended video you will ever need. I'm not really sure what that means, but we'll see what that is about. If you like what you see, please follow Kaizen if possible. If you like what he has done, he or they, whatever thing they go by, give him a follow and all that great stuff. Yeah, so let's see what this is about.
I used to think reading was cringe, but turns out if you use comic bubbles and draw some pretty art in black and white, then you got me hooked like Yumiko is to gambling away more money than I'll ever make. Here's what you can expect. 12 manga recommendations, a small synopsis of what it's about and as to why you should read it. And I am trying my hardest to stay away from manga with anime adaptations already, as well as super well-known manga. Sounds good? Then let's begin.
Slam dunk.
I mean it when I say this. I wholeheartedly believe that Slam Dunk is a perfect 10 out of 10 that literally anyone can enjoy. And you already know it's good because it's made by Takehiko Inoue, the same man that made one of the commonly referred to of the big three of seinen manga, Vagabond. If you are one of those childish people who look at a manga and can't continue reading it because the art just looks old or not on par with today's style, I only have one thing to say to you. Grow up. There's fun and lovable characters.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not a dodgeball anime. Right? I'm surprised there's not that dodgeball anime or that anime with what do you call it? With where they kick the badminton. I think it's called badminton kicking or what it's called, and they do a bunch of kicking.
Inoue uses for most of the chapter, and then all of a sudden he will drop a panel worth 1,000 words. I love the main character Sakuragi so much, and I especially love how when the manga first starts, his only motivation to play basketball is so he can get laid, but eventually learns to love the sport down the road. Inoue does a perfect job by balancing the extreme moments of heavy competition and the lighthearted moments that make you smile and laugh consistently like a maniac throughout this read. This story is pure development. Development as a player, development as a person, development as a leader, all this while simultaneously keeping you intrigued with every hard-fought battle ahead. If you just want to sit down, read, and enjoy a manga, I don't think I could recommend a better one to start with. Now, I know this is...
We're doing a recommendation of, like, anime comics. Anime specifically. Manga comics. We're doing manga comics, like, recommendations as I do artwork.
2 sports manga in a row. But I feel like we can all agree that they usually turn out to be some of the best pieces of fiction ever. So it's only right we bring in Climber, a masterful deconstruction of the entire sports genre. It's in the seinen genre, too, so it takes a darker approach, transforming it into a psychological story that explores themes of obsession, isolation, and the true cost of chasing greatness. This, partnered with the art, just makes for a world-class read. The story follows Mori, a transfer student who looks like your typical emo boy with a tragic backstory but is unwilling to talk about it to anyone. You know, the typical trope. When we first meet him, he is going through the motions of life, seemingly having no real passion for anything. That is until he discovers climbing. At first, it's an exhilarating escape for him until it becomes an obsession, as it allows him to push his limits, seeking freedom and a sense of being truly alive by scaling terrifying heights alone. So if I had to sum up this manga in one short sentence, I would say Claymore is just a B-tier version of Berserk. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a way to discourage you from giving this manga a chance. It's just this manga personally reminds me a lot of Berserk. Main character who wields a big-ass sword but somehow swings it with lightning speed? Check. The main antagonists in this story are both humanity and these demon-like creatures? Check. Main character has a tragic backstory? Triple check. And honestly, Rocky is just a human version of Puck, just without the funny humor. The only reason I said B tier is because Berserk is literally the best manga out there, at least my humble opinion. So of course it's gonna be a downgrade. Honestly, give it a try and experience it for yourself because I feel like everyone would like to read this. You would have a harder time finding a reason to dislike this manga. Now, I know I said I try to stay away from manga with anime adaptations, but to be fair, I haven't seen a single episode because I'm actually too scared to see if they messed up the very peak of the romance genre. I'm not even a big romance guy, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, but I've heard great things about it, so I just had to try it for myself. And on a whim, I did, and it paid off. The character development is so good. And this manga doesn't do that will they won't they annoying thing that most romance manga do. This manga introduces the characters, and it's blatantly obvious who is going to end up with who, and they just work on building up the relationships from there. It's relatable.
Yeah, I'm so tired of romance manga doing that. I think they should really stop doing that will they, won't they, and then they kind of just bullshit you at the far end that they kind of sort of not together, but they are together, but they're not going to blatantly say boyfriend, girlfriend. It's heavily implied.
Is actual perfection. I say the best thing about this manga is the way the art portrays the emotion.
Yeah, that's a straight up blue balling. That shit'd be fucking annoying.
So well. And that's the main reason I'm scared to watch the anime. I'm actually worried that they're not going to be able to pull that off with animation, which is actually kind of crazy when I say it out loud, but I still think it's completely valid. So this might be seen as a little biased because Sui Ishida's work on Tokyo Ghoul is the first manga I ever read, and you should already know that it's one of the best out there. So Chojin X being made by the same guy is just a must try. You can tell Ishida obviously has everything planned out, and the subtle foreshadowing is amazing to see and recognize.
Oh yeah, it
this
is,
manga
definitely
has so
is.
much
I've been told that it really is on that simping ass shit. It's not good. I think it's kind of like damaging to young boys though.
potential, and you can already tell Ishida is really putting his all into this manga. He's making sure to build an entire world and give everything lore, which is honestly my favorite part about any piece of fiction. I would say this manga is a lot different from Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul felt like a super dark fantasy psychological mind game that was able to pull you in with all the chaos going on at once while somehow tying every little detail together that just amazes you. Chojin X is more of a calm, goofy read, just like anything else from shonen, just adds plenty of serious stuff to it. I was honestly skeptical with this manga. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. At first, I thought it was gonna be like a worse version of the Saga because the main character Julian
Arthur did that. He actually changed. He cut his hair to look like that of his protagonist.
As a slave and is trying to find his own peace and make something out of his pain and anguish-filled life. While reading the first chapter, I was filled with pure skepticism, but that quickly, very, very quickly turned into a speedrun of non-stop, back-to-back, no breaks, nothing but fucking gas chapter reads. This is nothing like Vinland Saga. I can honestly say, I don't think I've read anything like this before. It's like watching a Souls-like game in black and white. Nothing crazy like Berserk, but the antagonists just look like something straight out of a Stephen King novel. I highly, 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 highly recommend you read up until chapter 12. And if at that point it doesn't suit your fancy, I say drop.
I'm hoping that too for Trojan X. I've heard nothing but good things about it by nearly every manga recommendator on YouTube. They glaze the shit out of this manga, and I know it's from the dude from Tokyo Ghoul, but like, if the animation or the anime is ass, that's going to be so disappointing.
Because at that point, there's really no helping you and your terrible taste. Now, I've actually been reading this manga on and off again ever since there are only like 9 chapters translated to English. And I can honestly say, as a, relative OG, that this is it. The characters and the art alone are just a fucking 10 out of 10. I mean, I fell in love with this as soon as I saw Tao. The story is about Tao and Alma, a duo of troubleshooters, hitmen for hire, if you will. Usually take on any job as long as it pays, but what they really do is fight Manga, monsters who feed off human flesh and blood.
Did they announce this was going to be an anime? Yeah, I think that's strike music from Street Fighter. But like, is it going to be an anime? Like, did they already announce who's going to be animating it? Did they? I don't hear anyone talk about who's going to be animating it. I know there's going to get an anime eventually, but like, I didn't hear anyone who's going to be animating. What studio's going to be animating it?
Of course, Alma here is his very own Yuji Itadori, because he's got a monster inside him as well. Plus, there are actual furries in this manga, so if you're into that sort of thing, then boom, here you go. But I think the thing I like most about the story is Alma seems to have a whole little Alucard thing going for him. If you know anything about Alucard, then you know Alma is in for a rough life. Alright, no meme, no glaze. I'm gonna be as straight up as possible, and obviously if it's in this video, that should already tell you what you need to know. I feel like it has so many similarities to Chainsaw Man, and we all know the cult following that title has, that it's actually impossible to hate this manga. The start of this manga to where it is now is like night and day. You actively see the author level up as a writer, and it's just very interesting to see. I don't exactly know how to describe this to you guys, other than just imagine Chainsaw Man, but with swords. I think the thing that makes this manga so good, and deserving of a spot on this list, is just the progression. Everything moves so smoothly. Character progression, story progression, everything is just well built and told. I'll be honest, before I read chapter 6, I wasn't gonna bother. But then I saw the potential, and I kept reading. And then there it was, all in its beautiful glory. A good shonen once again. Now this is actually a relatively newer manga. As of time of recording, there aren't even 30 chapters out yet, but it definitely leaves an impression. I actually like this manga just because of how goofy it is, even when it feels like the stakes are always at an all-time high. This story is about Yutaro Urashima, who at the start of the manga is just your run-of-the-mill average high school student, with only one quirk that really sets him apart of most people his age. You see, he's a reformed delinquent who is striving to become the best version of himself. In this case, it's the ideal adult. He even has his own little journal where he writes down the rules of adulthood. And striving to become a good person and trying to save a cat, our old friend Truck-kun pays him a visit and puts this man in a coma for 15 years. Now imagine waking up 15 years.
Did we do this? I feel this is familiar, but like, Jesus Christ, what? Are you serious? 15 years? Yeah, I think we did this video. Not this video, but I remember this one. Oh my God, 15 years? Holy shit.
Later, in an adult body, but still with the mind of a teenager trying to adjust to everyday life once again, only for your entire world to be turned upside down. The book you use as a way to guide yourself through life now has been used in a twisted, distorted way that takes away privacy, self-actualization, and all other kinds of twisted shit. Now Yutaro has to battle all of Japan and shut down the very system he helped create. It's actually a very cool read that I think you should try. I highly, highly, highly recommend War of the Adults. Alright, so I don't even know where to start with his hidden gem masterpiece. I have not heard a word about this manga ever until I stumbled upon it myself on the Viz Media website. So I guess we start with the basics. The art, phenomenal. I love how it's a series of normal panels that all of a sudden, boom, you'll get hit with a panel that warps your perception of art. Now the story itself is great. After God is a genuine, unique horror delight. It's a story of how grief can haunt you, mixed with the theme of how only a human can truly feel human. But then again, what is humanity? What separates a god from a mortal? Is it their power, or their ability to connect with others, or their age? When suffering is almost beyond them, it can paint a deity in a childish, curious light as they live beyond consequences. But what happens when a deity comes face to face with consequences and worldly attachments for the very first time? What happens when a god is hungry, when a god loves, when a god grieves or feels guilt? Now this manga is for the Neanderthals. Nothing but ore farming characters, battles that only end with death, and a story that doesn't really matter. But you still continue to read it just because of how fun it really is. If I had to describe this manga with one sentence, it would be, this manga is a combination of Hell's Paradise and Record of Ragnarok. The shogun, Oda Nobunaga, has become bored and is close to death. So to decide who will inherit all of Japan, he decided to hold a tournament of the best warriors Japan has to offer. And the winner takes it all. It's that simple. If you're a fan of mindless violence and aura farming, this manga is for you. On everything I love, I wholeheartedly believe I saved the best for last. Because, first of all, just wow, what a plot twist. I honestly don't remember the last time a manga had me hooked like this. I plead with you just to give the first 3 chapters a read, because that's really the ultimate hook. This manga is a futuristic dystopia where Earth is on its last legs and humanity is on the brink of extinction. So they look to conquer the unconquerable, space, and everything it has to offer. Of course, there are space beasts that are actually trying to destroy these space colonies, so this leads to a new breed of soldier. A soldier only very few can hope to become. That's right, baby. There's mechs. Mechs in space. This manga keeps you on your toes the whole time. It keeps things funny and lighthearted, while the whole time there is a whole other story being told behind the scenes. Seriously, I have so much love for this manga. I have so much appreciation for it. Hero Organization. Oh my god, please just give it a try. Like I said, first 3 chapters. If that doesn't do it for you, stop reading manga, because I don't know how to help you. So there it is, 12 manga recommendations that should keep you guys busy for a while. And listen, all I'm trying to do is put y'all on. I'm out here, actively trying to spread peak. Now, would I ever lead you guys astray? No. So I think it's only fair that you guys leave a like and subscribe down below, and comment on which manga you're gonna try first. Because if you do that, you will have my ever undying gratitude. And I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, so yeah, that was Kaizen. That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was 2 months ago. Give him a follow, like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I'll put his stuff into the description for this video, for the reaction video. So give it a try if you guys like the recommendations or his commentary and stuff like that. Or if you like the reactions, please follow. Really appreciate it and all that great stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll do more other stuff in the future, but let's just stay on to the anime stuff for right now. All right.